Mm, mm, mm.
So she invited. Okay, she did that too. I bet that
Got it. Yeah, we figured it out. Nice.
we did. Okay, we did. All right, hold on. Let me see something.
Okay.
Comment says. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. We can do like this. All right, that's cool. All right, we can do like this. This will work.
That's what.
I, I wanted to try and see if we can get it to where other people can come up and talk with us. I don't know how to do that, but I'm glad we got this far. So
Hmm. We won't be able to invite anybody else on here. It won't let us.
actually, you know
Hmm.
what? I think we would actually. No, yeah, we would. But it looks like we can only invite up to like two other people because we in battle mode. So we would only.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. That's cool. That
Let's
works.
go.
Yeah, it works. All right, nigga. How you doing today, love? How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm amazing. Another day, another opportunity to wake up and be great. So
How's that Florida weather?
it is beautiful outside. To be honest with you,
It's what? You said it's what?
it's beautiful outside.
Oh, it is. I know. I'm jealous. I used to live in Florida before I moved up here.
Where
I was
is
living in Kissimmee.
where are you at now?
I'm in Jersey.
Are you in Jersey? Oh,
It's
you are.
damn cold here. It's cold.
Oh, oh, you can have it. Nah.
Yeah, I know. I'm a Southern girl. I'm originally from Louisiana, so
Oh yeah.
I like the sunshine and the heat.
That's what that kind of made me wonder why you moved up north.
Well, I was the black side of my family is from Louisiana, and the Puerto Rican side is from Jersey. And so I grew up a little bit in Louisiana, and then I grew up in Virginia. So I actually like move around. I moved around.
I got you. I got you.
Yeah. You've been in Florida all your life?
All my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't blame you. I wouldn't leave. I would not leave.
I definitely want to. I want to do a lot of traveling, but as far as living, I'm good here. This is home.
Yeah.
So you know.
Yeah, I feel you.
All right. Let's see. How long you been in Jersey?
2 years, a little over 2 years.
Oh, okay. So you're not really. They say if you stay somewhere for more than 7 years, you're considered from there. But okay, I got you. You
Nah,
still
not
got to.
quite, not yet.
We'll still accept you. We'll still accept you from
Yeah,
the south.
yeah. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
All right, cool. So look, man, for everybody that's in the live, I appreciate y'all, sticking in with us and as we got through all of the technical difficulties. But me and Nikki kind of came up with this idea to speak about a topic today. And the other day when we went live, the conversation was just so legit, just was perfect. So we had this idea to come up here and discuss and dissect some topics today. I came up with the idea of love since that's the question I get the most when it comes to like my Q&A section in my bio. A lot of y'all ask me a lot of questions about love and relationships. So Nikki has basically structured the whole live today pretty much. I really didn't have to do anything. So Nikki really got us a lot of good topics to discuss today. So if there is anybody, that wants to share their perspective or, has something to say or wants to answer any of the questions that we discuss, let me know. And if I can send you an invite or send me a request, I'll bring you up. But other than that, man, we're just gonna be discussing and talking about love today. We in the love month, so Valentine's Day is right around the corner. So I know it's in the air right now. It's in the air very thick.
Yes, yes. It was a good topic. I'm glad you chose love. It's the most powerful energy in the world, so of course we should be talking about it.
100%, 100%. So, how do you want to start this off? I mean,
I liked how your little intro in the for your live. What was the question that you had asked in your live?
I think in the question was how do you love? I think it was or how are you affected by love. The
Yeah.
live the live topic was how do you love, and I think the description was like how are you affected by love.
Yeah. The question that I had sent you via DM was, what was it like growing up in your family, and how does it affect the way that you love?
That's a very good question. All right, so yeah, I'll definitely go ahead and answer that.
Okay.
So the way that my growing up, So here's the thing, right? So my mother was a single mother with three boys, and
Oh,
yeah, my father wasn't in my life. She had three boys, and she was taking care of all three of us by herself, basically. And she really wasn't the type of mother to be like. She really wasn't the like the super affectionate kind of mother. The give you a kiss, hey baby. It's like she didn't really do all of that for real. But she showed her love through everything that she did for us, and always making sure that we had and never needed for anything. So
mhm.
I think that growing up, and then as young boys, we had to. She was a little harder on us because we was young boys and we didn't have our fathers in our lives to kind of really teach us how to be men.
Yeah.
So she was a little harder on us, and I think that the way that this affected the way that I love is I have this video about love languages, and I think that a big part of the reason why physical touch is like my go-to love language is because I didn't really receive that kind of affection as a child, or in my youth. I didn't really get hugs. I didn't really get the nice talking to, the nice words. I didn't really get much of that. It was always get this done, do this, be this. Like she had structure to the way she did it, and I know she showed her love. But I know that a lot of people, receive different kinds of love, in their upbringings. And like I said, when it came to that physical love, or that that just that reassuring that I love you every day, or that those kinds of things that you expect or you would want from your mother. I didn't receive a lot of it. Not to say that she never said I love you or nothing like that. It's just that I didn't receive a lot of it, and I know it was because she was trying to figure this out. She was trying to make sure that we grew up the right way, and we learned the right lessons. But it definitely affected the way I love, or how I receive love, because of the fact that I crave affection. I crave that now. I didn't get it, so that's what I want. That's what I expect out of a partner. That's what I was expect from relationships nowadays.
Now let me ask you, that's what you expect. Is it easy for you to give?
100%. It's very easy. I think that me personally, I feel like I'm a lover. I love love. And it was crazy you said that in the DM. You like, I love love.
Yeah,
I'm like, me too. Because
yeah,
I don't know. I got the I might appear as the too cool for school, hard guy. Like, I know I get that a lot. I get that a lot, right? But inside, like, I'm lovey as hell. Like, I love to love on, I love to love on people. I love to show love and express love, especially in relationships. When it comes to my partner, I'm very affectionate. Sometimes it might get annoying to my partner because of the fact that I'm just I give me
right,
love in a way, but not in an unhealthy way. At least I'm
right.
learning about how to do it in a healthy way.
Yes, yes. Now, really quickly, sorry, before we go
Not go.
on, did it lose your follower? Like, did we hop on mine?
Um, what do you
Oh,
mean?
I see. Okay, okay, okay. I get it. Never mind. Okay, so let me tell you my experience with
Okay,
and hey y'all in the comments. Hey Charmaine, hey guys. Um, so I have a similar background
okay,
as far as the affection.
right,
So my parents loved the heck out of us. They and they expressed it and showed it with the things that they did, right? And how they provided and stuff like that. I
right.
remember, as a youngster, as a baby and stuff, my mom would always be giving affection, always. But it
Mm,
was like as I got older, that changed. Somewhere along the line, it just like, slowed down,
yeah.
which is really interesting. So I have two boys. One is 14 and one is about to be 3. And
Mm,
I have to purposely, like, because I know it's sort of weird. It's like I can see how that could have happened with my 14-year-old. And I've like had to purposely, like, intentionally make sure that I hug because I hugged him so much and stuff when he was younger. He of course, does that now and will come to me for hugs and stuff like
yeah.
that, or come and cuddle with me and stuff like that. I'm like, oh my God. Okay, I love it. But it made me conscious of how often I was not doing it anymore. You know what I
Mm,
mean? So it's like I intentionally make sure, hey, let me give you a heart to heart hug, like the specific heart to heart hug
yeah.
and stuff, and just continue to touch him, physically touch him because it's important to
It
people,
is.
like for growth. And you know what I mean? Love is like so important for us as human beings in order
Right.
to like have a healthy, you know, foundation. And so, but it's interesting that you said that it makes you very affectionate, um, because I think it did the opposite with me. My relationship, I had to, again, it's a work in progress where I have to make sure that,
Mhm.
hey, I'm not just doing it during intimacy, you
Right.
know what I mean? Or just a quick pet when you're leaving and coming, but actually, or the simple holding hands
Yeah.
when you're
Active.
walking and
Yeah.
stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
But actually,
Yeah.
just going and touching. But yeah, it's so important. So it's interesting how for you, it made you more affectionate. And with me, I can see how I took on the traits of my parents. That's
That is.
interesting.
Yeah. The contrast to that is very interesting.
Yeah.
But I that which goes back to the question that I asked, how are you affected by love? And everybody is affected
Hmm.
differently. So that
Yeah.
makes away. So I like that. That damn. I'm glad that you shed light on that. Yeah. That makes perfect sense to me though. Um
Crazy.
I I think when it comes because I have my son and like I said I'm very affectionate. So with my son I'm kissing him. I'm hugging him. I don't know. I just love my little boy. Like I don't. But I know, he a baby boy now, and I know at the same time, because I want to be, the father that I didn't have as a child. I want to be that for him. So it's just, I want to know. I guess I'm learning how to balance, being affectionate, showing them love. But I know it's gonna get to a point where, I'm gonna have to, instill, what it is, what it means to be a man in him, and how to understand and how to process his emotions, how to handle his emotions, how to, interact in relationships and such. So I think I'm very excited for that part of my
Yeah.
journey. But
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
it's, it's I don't think it's gonna be a challenge at all. I just think it's gonna be an interesting experience for me.
Absolutely. Because how old is he now?
He's not even a year. He's coming up on a year. So he a baby boy. Yeah. Yeah. He a baby. Yeah.
Yeah, I am. I got baby fever over here. I want a girl, but I can't
I
guarantee I get a girl, but I want a girl. So,
I wanted a girl too. I did, but I'm happy
yeah.
I got my boy.
Of course, of course. They're
Yeah.
blessings, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is beautiful. Is I know, like my 3-year-old, I'm kissing, 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 kissing up on him, and I'm like, I gotta make sure, that I don't know, I don't slow up,
Right.
because it's necessary for sure. And it reminds me of how like the other day I was talking about childhood trauma and people that
Mhm.
were dealing with abusers, and I asked like, where is that line where some people become the abuser? And then some, just swear of like, no, I would never, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's so interesting. It is so interesting. So this is something similar,
hundred
where
percent.
I took on the traits of my mom. My mom was a Marine. I've only seen her cry like twice in her life. And she was just like this strong woman, you know what I mean? And
Right.
yeah, but yeah, so I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
And especially your mom raising 3 boys. Kudos to her.
Oh.
Kudos to her. What's the age difference between you and your brothers?
Aha. Okay, so my older brother's 15 years older than me. And
Oh,
then,
okay.
right, my little brother, he's probably like maybe 2 years younger than me. So, right, I'm,
What?
I'm, yeah, I know.
So that's a
No.
big gap. So she did like I did, a 12-year gap between the damn kids.
Yeah.
Starting all over. Starting all over. But it's weird. When I was younger, I remember saying, I want to be able to give my kids all the attention that they need. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? To fully nurture them. And look how it happened, Like off wanting to be with his girlfriend and stuff like that. So it was perfect
Yeah.
time, like really.
Damn, that's what's up.
Hmm.
You
God
prepared.
bless you always, my dear.
I love, I love it.
Thank you, Ida. Love you. Yeah, so we got that question
That was a good one.
out of the way.
Let's
You
do
want to
it.
move on to the next one?
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, come on, let's go.
Okay.
Come on,
How
let's
does
do it.
one practice forgiveness of self and others? And does not forgiving others affect your current or future relationships? So, how does one practice forgiveness of self and others?
All right, you want me to answer that one first, or you gonna take this one first?
Sure, you can take it.
I bet. Before I start, somebody in the comment, Veda asked if I have sisters. I do have sisters on my father's side. Um, so yeah,
Oh,
how does one practice? Yeah, I do have sisters. And I'm affectionate with my sisters too. I love my sisters, but when it comes to for practicing self forgiveness and forgiveness of others, it's really going. It boils down to making a decision. It's really choosing to forgive. It's choosing that. It's saying, okay, I don't want to harbor these feelings. I don't want to suffer this anymore. So I'm going to let this go. I'm going to surrender it. It's the same idea of it's the same idea of when it comes to, like, let's say you holding like a hot piece of coal in your hand, or you touch a hot pot. How do you let that go? How do you stop feeling that being burnt? You drop it. Just let it. You make the decision, like, okay, I don't want to keep getting burnt anymore. I'm going to make the decision to drop this. I'm going to let this go. Because what we don't understand is that holding a grudge or holding these things in hurts us more than it actually hurts the other person. And like I said, when it comes to forgiveness of other people, you're just going to have to make that decision to let that go. Make the decision to say, I'm going to free myself of these feelings. I want to free myself because, like I said, you're hurting yourself more than you're hurting that other person by not forgiving them. And it blocks and hinders your growth. When it comes to forgiving yourself, it's all going to boil. It's the same concept. And I think that we often are naturally hard on ourselves, and I think that when it comes to that, we don't give ourselves enough leeway or enough credit to kind of just be like, you know what, I made that mistake. It's okay that I made that mistake. I'm learning, I'm growing, it made me better. I know now, so going forward I'm going to do this. So that's what forgiving self-forgiveness is going to be all about. Is just letting yourself know that it's okay to mess up. It's okay to make a mistake. It's okay to not know everything. It's okay to not have every answer, because we're here to learn anyway. And it's all a part of the process. If you never messed up, if you never made a mistake, how would you ever grow? How would you ever learn? So forgive yourself for when you do make those mistakes, or you do, do something that you don't necessarily approve of. Take the lesson from it and then move forward and improve from there.
yeah, yeah, I agree. And then I want to ask you, do you feel like forgiveness is always necessary
A
in
hundred
order
percent.
for you to keep moving?
I think, yeah, if it comes to continuing moving, continuing to grow, continuing, yeah, I think forgiveness is going to always be necessary. I don't necessarily know about forgetting everything. They say forgive and forget. I don't
Mm.
necessarily know as far as forgetting the thing that you were supposed to learn from, because if you forget it, then how do you know not to do that? I don't know. That concept of that statement, of that phrase, is kind of fickle with me. It's just like I don't understand as far as forgetting something. But you can definitely forgive. Just hmm, that's a very interesting one. But
Yeah,
to when it comes to growth and learning, forgiveness is always going to be necessary. um when it comes to, because just like you're not necessarily per se perfect and going to have it down every single time. We got to look at others like that too. Maybe they're not going to always have it down right every single time, or they're not going to always get it right. So I think
yeah,
forgiveness is always going to be necessary for your own growth.
yeah. I feel you.
How do you feel
Um, I
about
sort of feel, I feel like as long as, because, okay, I had a discussion about this
that?
on live, and there was this woman on here that was saying, I do not forgive my abusers. I
Mm,
don't care. I don't. What they did was so horrendous that I will never forgive them. And she was saying that she's still moving on. Like she's not letting it like hinder her.
right.
She's not letting it like keep her from her day-to-day, functions and stuff like that. She just knows that she will never forgive them, period. but yet she's moved on. And that hit home with me. It was like, yeah, I've always said, you got to forgive. You got to forgive. Forgiveness is for yourself. It's not for them. And I can understand. So if I have something that I am, okay, a guy cheated on me, right? That
Right.
was my biggest fear. That was my biggest fear, right? I did not want to experience heartbreak like that. It's so crazy, like how much this fear, like, ugh, um, had a hold on me. But of course, what happens when you have huge fears like that, right? You manifest it,
Yeah.
right?
It happens, right?
And it's like I had to, number one, forgive myself for even mentally putting myself through. It's like I would put myself through that fear before even experiencing it. So,
Yeah.
number one, I was taking myself there
Mhm.
mentally. Oh my God, this would just be the worst feeling. Um, I was in being in that state, was I fully loving? Because I was still sort of guarded. You have this guard up. You don't want that to happen. So are you really fully loving? So I had to forgive myself for that, right?
Right.
But I don't want to forgive that person. I don't want to forgive that person for what they did because they grown, they know what they did. Boom. Like, no. Okay. It doesn't stop me from pushing through. And now I know that, okay, if I were to get cheated on, what the fuck is the worst sorry, what's the worst that could happen?
I see what you mean.
Nothing. I'm going to keep moving on. Like this, I existed before this person. You know what I mean? Like that type of thing.
I
But I'm going to keep pushing. Like, ain't nothing going
can
to
I
happen.
can
Before
I
I
expound?
thought I would die.
Okay.
You know, I thought I
Let me,
would die.
okay.
So,
Let me give you a different perspective on it. Then let me ask you this then.
okay.
So if if you say you can't forgive that person, um,
I said I
so
don't want to,
you don't want,
but I can,
but
but I don't want to.
damn, I had exactly how I was going to ask it too.
I'm sorry.
uh,
I'm
no,
sorry.
it wasn't your fault. No, it wasn't your fault. So would you be able to face that person again?
Yes, I
You
have
would be.
faced that person again.
Okay. Um, so I think what people I think what people kind of misconstrue when it comes to forgiveness is that means, okay, if I forgive you, that means I have to let you back in my energy. I have to accept you back. I have to interact with you. I have to do all these things because I forgive you. But I don't think that that's the idea of forgiveness. I think the idea of forgiveness is to, relieve yourself of those emotions, of those feelings. Accept that person, okay, yeah, you made that mistake, you did that. However, at the same time, although I forgive you what you've done to me, I don't have to allow you back in my energy. I don't have to put myself back in that situation that allowed you to hurt me in the first place.
Yeah,
That means that you're not forgiven. That just means that you're protecting your energy. But you can forgive somebody, and you can forgive them and not accept them back, or not allow them the space to do the same thing to you. And I
mhm,
think we kind of misconstrue those. And when
yeah,
somebody says forgiveness, I can't forgive them because they think that means accept that person back. Just act
right.
like it never happened. Doesn't mean that it never happened. It just means that you're not going to hold on to those feelings, or you're not going to hold on to that suffering that it put you through and cause that to stop you from growing and stop you from moving forward.
Yeah,
Especially when you're able to face that person again or face that demon again and not be affected by it the same way you were originally. That's what
yeah.
real forgiveness.
See, and that's what I think, that's what I had to get to the point of understanding within myself. Okay, if I get cheated on again, okay, I'll go find something else. Like, it's not a big deal.
Make
But
peace with it, right?
before it had a grip on me, before I had even experienced it, it had such, and I know why, but it had this like grip on me, boy. I mean, I just thought I was gonna die. So
But
I'm glad
now,
I experienced that fear and got
so I
through
was
it.
now what I was going to ask you next. Do you feel like it was necessary for you to experience that?
Yeah.
Your biggest fear? You feel like it was? You feel like you needed to experience that?
Yeah. I think I don't know why I'm about to cry.
Okay.
But yes, I feel like I needed to experience it.
That's okay. That's a beautiful thing. Because and the reason why I agree with that, that you need to experience that is because you're now at a point to where you're like, okay, if it happens, I'll just move forward. And you've made peace with that fear now. And that's why you needed to experience it. So that's why I feel like, yeah, you definitely needed to experience it and then get to a point where you've grown past it now. It's not even, it doesn't affect you the same way that it did originally. That
Yeah.
shows your strength. That's amazing. That's amazing. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
I think of course we have these things in life that we are supposed to work through.
Right.
I've had this fear since I was a kid. So it obviously wasn't something that I went looking for or anything like that. It was like really a trial, a tribulation, an obstacle that I was meant to get through. So I'm glad I made it through. I'm
Yeah.
glad.
And when it comes to manifestation, I think we misjudge or underestimate the power of our subconscious.
Oh yeah,
We could subconsciously be manifesting something and don't even realize that we're doing it. Um,
absolutely.
so yeah.
I definitely feel that because of the situation that I experienced as a child, it
Uh-huh.
was trauma for me, right? And
Right.
then therefore it created this fear. And then boom, I manifested it. And I also once I dissected it like that, it also sort of takes some of the blame off of the person, because
Right.
when you're able to understand that this world is just a reflection of everything that's going on in here, it sort of relieves people of
Uh,
some of the shit they do because it's all us. It's all us doing it. But yeah.
that's pure forgiveness right there, Nick. You just displayed that pure forgiveness. That's beautiful though, and you're at peace with it. I love that. I love
Yeah,
that.
I am. I don't want to experience it again,
Right. Right.
but I'm at peace with it.
No
I'm
doubt.
good. Okay.
Nah, no doubt. I definitely understand.
Yes, yes. We answered the other part of that question. Does not forgiving others affect your current or future relationships? Um, yeah, we
Yeah.
answered that.
Yeah.
Okay. So
All
we
right.
can move to the third question.
Well, let's go to the next one. Yeah, it's getting
Okay,
good.
let me see. Check out your comments. See if
Okay,
anybody said anything important.
let's see. What did it say? Oh,
Yes.
this is. I think this is Desiree. I forgive for me. My soul needs the peace, and you need a lesson learned. 100%. I feel you on that. Okay. Uh, Forgiveness comes with scissors sometimes. That's an interesting way to put that. I like that. Tedder chick, excellent advice. Forgive and move on. Okay, so that it sounds like everybody's just agreeing with basically the outline of what we were saying. But it says you have to forgive others. We're all human and we all make mistakes in life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Um, Charmaine says forgiveness doesn't mean you have to deal with that person again. Correct.
Right.
Um, Fitness by Christine says, change I want to see must first begin with me. The change I want to see must first begin with me.
Got to
She
be the
says,
change.
without forgiveness, you will never get true healing. Um, yeah, I do feel like forgiveness is necessary for growth, of course. If you are here on in this universe and you really want to do some soul work, you're gonna have to go through all your damn shit. You're gonna have to
Ab-
work through all your shit, and you're gonna have to forgive and all that. But if you're
mm,
just here for a good time, then
yeah.
yeah, move how you want to move.
Yeah, for
um
sure. So,
Someone says, Julio says, so what do you do when you fall out of love but made vows to love always? Huh. You want to answer?
mm, um, I mean, I can answer. Yeah. Did you want to take that one first? You take that one first for me. Throw something at it. Ask the question one more
Okay.
time before you answer
Yeah.
those. So I
So
can.
what do you do when you fall out of love
Mhm.
but made love, but made vows to love always?
Okay.
Um, I honestly think that this is tough. That's a tough one.
That's tough. It is a tough one. That is a tough.
mean, I wouldn't want someone to be married to me and be pretending. I'm gonna say that. Maybe I should speak from the other end, right?
Right.
So if I was the person that they did not love anymore, vows or not, I mean, if that person was, I just want honesty. I just want true, genuine honesty. So if he were to come to me and say, I'm not in love with you anymore, I would like to be divorced because you say vows during a marriage, right?
Right.
Then yeah, I would say, okay. I would say, okay, see, I'm a Scorpio. I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna let you go. Okay. But
So
yeah.
yeah, well, exactly what she was saying, man. I think that the best move is going to be to live in your truth, speak your truth,
Yeah.
and let that other person know that you aren't in that position that you were anymore. And I think that we are so hard on ourselves a lot of times because we think that, okay, we made these vows or I made this decision, things can't change. We think that things can't change and things aren't supposed to, but that's the thing, is change is inevitable, which means it's going to happen regardless of whatever. It's going to happen. So if you've had a change of heart, it's gonna be this falls back into the forgiveness conversation. You're gonna have to get to a point where you've forgiven yourself for the fact that you made those vows, and then now you're at a different place, and understand that it's okay that you've changed your mind, or you don't feel the same way. A lot of times, we try so hard to control our emotions, and you can have a sense of control over self, of course, but you can't always control how something makes you feel, how something made you feel. You can control how you react to it, but when it comes to just overall how you feel about something, especially when it comes to a love relationship, or the fact that you made vows to somebody and now you're not in that space to where you feel like you are in love with them anymore. The best thing to do is going to be to speak to that person, and to let them know, like, have that conversation, communicate with them, because like Nikki said, I would hate to be the other person on the other end of that, like, and not knowing this whole time that you're just faking it, because all it's going to do is make it worse later on down the line. You're going to get to a point where you're bottling us all up, you're hiding it, you're hiding it, you're hiding it, and then
Hmm.
explode at some point, and then it's just going to come out all at the wrong time. So whether you take the initiative to say, look, this is how I feel, or you wait until it comes out for you, or the universe or life makes you do it. A lot of people don't change unless their circumstances force them to, and usually we have a decision to make that change before we're being forced to, or before we have to. So I think you should address that, speak to speak to her and let her know, like, this is how I feel. But living your truth and speaking your truth is always going to be the best option to take, no matter how scary it may be, no matter how fearful, how many feelings you get, like, damn, the best option is always going to be to just be honest and be straightforward and be 100% with the situation.
Now
That's just
let
my,
me
my
ask you this. Do you feel
okay.
like love is a choice?
Do I feel like love is a choice? That's a good question. Do I feel like love is a choice?
Yeah.
I feel I feel like, damn, why do I think that? I think somebody asked me this recently, as far as love being a choice. I think you can. I think it depends. I think sometimes you can't help who you love. Um, I think that's a good way to put it. I think so that you can't always help who you love. But I think the like I said, when it comes to emotions, I don't think that the emotions are what we're trying to control. I think more so it's about how we act on them and how we respond, and the way that we express those emotions. Um, but as far as love, like I said, when it comes to that, if you can't help who you love, then I think that, yeah, maybe love isn't necessarily a choice. Maybe. Give me your take on that. I feel like
I mean, I just was curious because when hearing you speak and then hearing this question, it's like, okay, so if someone did come to me and was like, I don't love you anymore, is that just a conscious choice that they're making? You know what I mean? At that time.
which is
And hmm, the question they said, the
no,
one
no.
you just answered.
When you say, is that a conscious choice, like a conscious choice to not love that person, or a conscious
Yeah.
choice to let that person know that you don't love them anymore?
Oh no, that you don't love them. Not to communicate it, but that. you fell out of love?
Um, no, that because no. See, I don't, that's why I say I don't think that was a choice. I think that um realizing that you feel that way is going to be the choice, and deciding whether or not you want to honestly, like I said, communicate that and act on that. I think that if he felt that way, I don't think that necessarily, he just chose to. Because if you made vows to somebody, I don't think you necessarily chose to fall out of love with them. No, not at all. Um, but I feel like if that happened, if that's what happened, then I feel like it is your decision to make whether or not you continue on to try and stick it out, and maybe I'm just feeling this way, or maybe it's just a fluke, or okay, yeah, I know for sure that I feel this way. Now I need to make a decision on whether or not, or how I'm going to express it to this person, or if I'm going to let this fake it and fake it till I make it, or whatever the case. But
Really?
as
So you don't feel like you had the choice to fall in love with the females that you fell in love with? Like
um
to see, to me, I guess love is more than just, of course, infatuation, right?
right,
So it is everything. It's all the work that we put into the relationship. It's the communication. It's the time, the effort, the getting to know them, all of that.
right,
And we don't choose to put in that work and stuff with everybody.
right. Somebody in my chat said, I don't think it's a choice. I think it's a response. I like that. Kelly, I like that. Um, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think that he chose, or he was choosing to fall out of love, or it was his. But are you saying, so? Are you asking, if is it a choice to fall in love, or a choice to,
Because
or
if
both?
it's a choice to fall in love, to love someone, like for instance, I can decide right now to love you unconditionally, no
Right.
matter what. I can take on like the role of, auntie, whatever.
Whatever.
I could, I could say, I
Okay.
could say,
Let's go with let's go with
I'm
auntie.
gonna love him unconditionally, and I don't care what he does. I'm gonna always be there for him. I'm gonna always support him, whatever, right?
Right.
Just like we do with our kids, just like we do with certain people in our lives. There are some people who have kids and they will cut them off because they did something, right? That's a
Right.
choice. So, who is love a choice? And if so,
See
so someone,
what you're referring to is actions, though. I see you choose the action. Just because they cut their child off doesn't necessarily mean that they don't love them, or that they didn't do it out of love. See, like just like Kelly said, love is not a choice, it's a response. That their response to it, their response to that love. So just like tough love is a thing, right? You can, yeah, it's tough love. The love is still there. I can't help the fact that I still love you. However, I know that I have to do something to change. For instance, if you
but
got a
when I asked you what is love, you were you said, the things that you do, like you do things for the person, you do things with the people. Like, of course, I understand what you're saying. Like this love, there's three types of love, isn't it?
I was like, there's different
It's like
types of love.
agape. Yeah, it's different kinds. So we're not talking about, oh, just okay, this person is related to me, right?
That's what I'm
And
saying.
I love them. Because
Exactly.
the question was about vows, right? So
Right.
he made a choice to make this person their wife, his wife, right? So
Right.
you don't think it's a choice to fall out of love?
No, the falling out of, I
Okay,
think,
I'm just
yeah.
trying to understand.
So the action, that's what I'm saying. The making of vows is the action. He chose that action. That was his decision. However, it was out of love. I love you, but but I feel that way. So it's a response to our connection. It's a response to our energies. It's a response to how I feel, my emotions. That's not a choice. That part wasn't the choice. He felt that way, but that he didn't choose that. It's just how he feels. But he fell out of love. So now the feeling has changed. Whether he knew it was coming or not, the feeling has changed. So now the action is that, okay, now that I feel like I don't love you the same way I did, now the action is going to be different. Now we're either going to have to divorce, or communicate, or come up with a plan, or come up with whatever we have to do. I think that's the action. The action is always going to be the choice, because it's like I said, it's a response. It's what you're choosing to do based off of how you feel. You didn't choose. You don't necessarily. You can't. He didn't necessarily choose to fall out of love with you. Because if that was the case, if he knew he was gonna choose that, then why even marry or why even make the
Because
vows?
some people are greedy. And some people see something
And,
else across the street and want that.
and you're right that and there are certain cases where that may happen. But let's say that that's not the case with Julio, right?
Well,
Let's say
let's
Julio.
talk about what about arranged marriages?
But what
So there
say?
are people that don't even know each other,
Mm-hmm.
and their marriage is arranged. They don't love each other
Right.
initially, but that
And
grows, right?
not all the
And that,
time, but yes,
well, yeah, not all the time,
the
for sure.
potential it can grow, but not all the time that happens though.
Right, right. That is true. Not all the time, right? But this is an example of, is it a choice? Did they over time just fall in love, or did they decide to love? Probably they fell in love for arranged marriage, right?
See, I feel like if it's arranged marriage, there's two people that. So you're saying that there's two people they are arranged to be married. They had no say in it. They just were put together to be married, right? Almost like in royalty families,
Yeah.
right? So they were put together. Now, if they learn to love each other again, it's I don't think that it was I don't think necessarily it was a choice. If you ended up learning to love that person, it had to happen over time. You didn't just say, "I choose this." We're in love now. I love you because I'm making a decision. You had to feel that. Those feelings had to grow. It had to be nurtured. It had to. It's just like with a plant. You plant a seed. You don't get to decide that seed is a tree. After 30 seconds of planting and watering, you don't get to decide. It has to go through that process. It has to get there. So I feel like in order for that love to grow, it has to get there. It has to be nurtured. And then they feel that. And then once it's felt, then they act on that feeling. And the action is the decision. Okay, I do feel this way now. Even though at first I had nothing to do with this. But now that I feel this way, now that time has passed, we've grown into this. Now
Hmm.
I actually want to act on it. Now I want to act on it.
So what's the quickest time you've told a female you love her?
Uh, the
Yeah.
quickest. I couldn't say it. It would have to be because here's the thing, right? When it comes to, I think there's a difference with in love and then I love you, right?
Okay, which one have we been discussing?
That's exactly. That's why I
Because
want to know which
whichever
one.
one we've been discussing, that's what we need to stay on, okay? Yeah.
So when it comes to in love, I actually have a video about this. Like I've never really so I didn't really see I've never seen what that is. I didn't know what being in love really meant. So I can love you but not be in love with you. I can have unconditional love for you, or I can love you in a way. I can love you romantically and intimately, but not necessarily feel that I'm in love, if that makes sense.
Answer the question. What's the quickest time that you told a female you loved her,
And I
or
love you.
even her
So
tell
flat.
you, or
So
her
okay,
tell you?
for both, okay, so for her telling me or me telling her, it had to have been within a span of 2 to 3 months. That's probably about the quickest, within about two to
Right.
three months.
Okay.
As far as the L word coming up at all, as far as love coming up, within the span of 2 to 3 months. Like, damn, okay, I think I love you.
Okay. I've had I mean, we when you're young, people don't know. They don't really
Right.
know. They feel like they know. So yeah, I've had someone tell me this within, a couple of weeks, right?
Mm.
So I'm thinking like, okay, is that a choice? Is that a choice? Is it more exterior? Is it more infatuation? Is it more, you hear, okay, women probably go crazy over you. I've seen it on your live, right? I guarantee you, if you started dating one of them,
Mm.
within a couple weeks, they're gonna be like, I just want to tell you, like, I know it's soon and everything, but I love
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Would you feel weird if I said, you know what I'm saying? So that's, I guess, where I get the whole choice thing.
I
Because unless people just confused.
And that's the thing though, Nikki, is like, is that so not everybody not everybody has experienced proper love,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
properly how to love. And I think that,
It's
and
very true.
when you say within a couple of weeks or a couple of days, like I that would raise red flags to me. It would
You
make
would
me
run.
question whether or not you just love what I do, or you just infatuated with the idea of being with me so much that you think that it's love. And that's why,
Exactly.
no, that's why I really don't, when people ask me about love at first sight, I think people can be in love with the idea of being with somebody. I don't know so much as far as you can honestly say that you're in love with that person on first sight. I think that you're just so infatuated with them in that moment to where you can fall in love with the idea of being with them, and then
Yeah.
you label it as I love them.
I love that show. I used to watch it. But I was so intrigued with the whole process. The people that, were infatuated in the moment, and
Right.
then a week goes by, they get to know this person, and then they're like tired of them.
It
And
ain't really,
then,
yeah, it ain't hitting the same way.
yes, and then over time, how they grow to love them. And some of them, this is why they had those counselors there, because the counselors walk them through this. It
Mm-hmm.
is, I feel like, a choice. Listen, you made this decision to come on this show. You came on this show to grow. You came on this show for an experience. You came on this show because you wanted to be married, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's people on there that want to give up every week. But those counselors are there to encourage them that no, love is, I say, a choice.
Mm-hmm.
You got to decide to put in that work. You got to decide to wake up and forgive your partner every damn day if necessary, because y'all are merging, y'all are becoming one. I think it's the people that, give up so easy and think that, oh, you just fall in and out of love and it's just that easy to leave.
Mm-hmm.
The people that have been together for 50, 60 years, they
Mm-hmm.
have felt those moments and they've still hung in there and decided to wake up the very next day and give it another shot.
Right.
We are so we're so like we're humans that just sort of like we're very sporadic with our thoughts. That's not the word that I wanted, but you get what I'm saying. We're
Right.
very I don't know, it's like we want this when we want this, and if I don't feel this, as a female, if I don't get this from a guy, or if he's not doing this for me, then I'm ready to walk away.
Right.
When actually that's when you need to be putting in the effort
Most effort.
to get to to be able to communicate, right, in order to change these things or understand each other better.
Right.
So me, I do absolutely feel like being in love is a choice that you got to make when you in a devoted relationship every single day, until the end, because it's really easy otherwise. Then yeah, why are you getting married if you wanted just the luxury to be able to get up and go and get up and go at your leisure? Then marriage is not for you. Because there's going to be plenty of times if we think that over the duration of 40, 50 years that we're not going to get up and be like, I hate this motherfucker. I don't want to be here anymore. I can't hear this. If we think we're not going to feel that, if we think it's going to be peachy keen every single day, then marriage is not for you. So
I
that's
think
why I say I feel like it's a choice. And on that show, I think that those counselors were strategically put there because they were able to help nudge the ones who were strong enough to say, "Okay, I can do this," and encourage them to make
right.
those choices. But to each their own.
I think
Yeah,
it after we've had this conversation. See, that's why I think it's both. I think it
yeah,
is
me
a
too.
is I think it's
Yeah,
both. I
yeah,
think it's both.
I think it's
Cause,
both too.
Cause if I feel a certain way, cause here's why I've been guilty of being like, okay, you know what, if this is not gonna work, if we can't do this, then all right, I'm done,
Right.
and have left. But the feeling of still loving that person has not left me. Although
Yeah.
I left, and because I wasn't receiving what I felt like I needed or deserved in that relationship, I left. But I still love that person though. You feel me?
Yeah.
It was my choice to act upon. Okay, all right, I don't, this is not working. I'm leaving. That was my action. Um, but however, the feeling is still there. I can't choose to just turn that off. Um, I don't know,
Can
Nikki.
you?
This was good. You
Can
said,
you
can I?
choose to turn that off? So
I
it's
can.
my
I can
mind. This is my
press
mind, right? This is my mind. I'm in
right.
control of this.
Right.
So if I can't choose to, then who is choosing for me?
Interesting.
What, so I mean, what do you mean when you say that?
I see what you did. I see what you did there. You just put like a little checkmate on me. Okay. All right.
Who is doing it for you? Okay, is it
Touche, 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 touche. I guess I said it the wrong way. I guess I said it the wrong way. Because yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. Okay. Okay, Nikki. Okay. All right. All right.
we can go to the next question.
Let's go to the next one. All right.
Okay. Ooh, have you ever failed anyone you loved or anyone that loved you? Explain.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of course, right? Of course we all have. But go ahead.
We are right. And I think just in the sense of not being there at times where I should have been, where I had the decision to be there. I could have made the right choice. I could have been there. I could have done it, but I chose not to. I think that in that sense, yeah, I failed somebody that I loved by making, I wouldn't say the wrong decision, but just not making the decision that would benefit us or to benefit, more so, you know, displaying that I do love you.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
I think, yeah, I definitely have failed somebody that I love or that loved me.
yeah. I'm definitely guilty of that, especially in my younger years. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
It's weird now that I like have looked back on it and sort of tried to dissect my life. But you know how I had that fear.
Mm,
And it's like clockwork. All my past relationships, it would be like I'd get in the relationship and then like when it's about to hit the 2 year mark or just hit the 2 year mark or something, I would just like
mm,
it's like I could disconnect, you know, it was like a choice to disconnect
you're
and
right.
keep it moving. I don't know what that was about. When I was with them, I was crazy over them, thought I loved them, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
But I don't think that I did that in a healthy way, especially for them. Um, in the past, I feel like I could have handled their hearts a little bit more carefully.
Hmm.
Um, and mine as well, but I was a Scorpio and greedy and just wanted to do my own thing. I was selfish, you know.
Right, right.
So absolutely I have failed someone I've loved. Let me see, has anyone you loved ever failed you? Let me think.
Mm, you have to think about that.
So I'll and it's like it's sort of not a fail, but it is sort of a fail because it
Right.
can be, I feel like it still impacted me. Okay, so my parents, okay,
Mm,
my mom was a Marine. My biological father is a Marine. They met in Hawaii, right? But before they left, my mom and my dad, my stepdad, but he's really my dad, right?
mm,
They were together in high school and then they broke up when she went to the Marines. And then when she got back, she had left the Marines because back then you had to put the child up for adoption or have a, you know, get rid of the baby or get out. So she got out. She went back home to Louisiana, and my dad, stepdad, dad, was like, I don't care that you're pregnant. You know, I still love you. You know, I want to be with you. So they got married, right? And I grew up until about the age of 7 thinking that he was my dad. Um, and so then I met my biological father,
mm,
right? And so my biological father is like me. I'm not a phone person. I'm not really a social media person, right? I just got on here in October because
you
I'm
want to go?
private, super private. And he just isn't a phone person. It doesn't mean that when I don't call my family or whatever that I don't love them or whatever, you know?
Right,
I'm
right.
just, I just am like that. My sister just called me a week ago and she's like, I got beef with you. And I'm like, why? And she was like, why I always got to call you? I was like, I know, I'm sorry, I'll do better, right?
Yeah.
But I see how it can affect people. Growing up, I used to change my number like every 6 months and keep it moving. I wouldn't tell people I changed my number, anything. So it's something in me. But anyway, back to what it is. My father, he lived in Jersey, we lived in Virginia, and he never I would see him like a once a year, right? But he wouldn't call like weekly or anything like that. And I didn't think anything of it. I wasn't bothered by it or whatever. I saw him when I saw him, he would give me money for school clothes and shit like that. You know what I mean? And I
Mm,
would see him. If I didn't see him every year, I would see him like every 2 years or something like that, right? But when I got older, I was like, was that okay? Was it okay? You know what I mean?
right.
Even though it was like he was taking the stance that, oh, you have a father in the household. I don't want to be a burden type of thing. But if this is your child, like, ugh. So I don't hold it against him, but it is something that came out. Um, and it's like, did that really affect me? So maybe he failed me a little bit in that sense.
Yeah.
But he was trying the best that he could, whatever. But so
I-
that's an example.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. I think it does. Because I mean, something like that, how can it not affect you? I mean, even if you still had some, how can it not affect you though? Um,
Yeah.
I think I feel the same with my own father, just not being there.
Yeah.
It definitely affected me. It definitely affected me. It got to a point where I was just like, I guess I don't know. I was in my teen years and maybe got a call from him for the first time in since I've seen him or last seen him at what 4 or 5 years old. So
Hmm.
I was very when I got that call, I was very abrasive. I was very you think you can just call me and like I was
Right.
mad. I was hurt, but I didn't know how to process it. Um, but I think and just recently, maybe a couple months ago was the first time. See, sometime last year was the first time that I actually called him and had a conversation with him,
Oh,
kind of let
that's
go
good.
all of that stuff. Yeah. But like I said, it did affect me, and I felt like I don't know who did what, whose side is wrong, my mom or him. I don't know. I didn't get enough about it. So I feel like I wouldn't say that I feel like they failed me. I feel like fail is such a strong word, but in a
Right.
sense.
It is.
you
Right.
know, in a
Yes.
sense though, I probably could have been set up a little better, had, I don't know, had I had the things that I needed at the time that I need them as a child. But I'm thankful for everything that I've been through and all my experiences because it's made me and
Right.
crafted me into the person that I am today. So
So that ties us back into our other question. Do you forgive your dad?
of course, yeah, I forget him. Yeah, which is the reason that I called him and talked to him sometime last year. We talk every blue moon now. We don't really talk often now, but um I guess personally I feel like I'm just at a point where it's like I've let it go. I've made peace with it. So I'm not scratching and clawing to try and talk to her, try and get a conversation. It just it is what it is at this point to me. But if you were to call, I could talk to him. I could have a conversation and not feel like, oh, why weren't you there? Like, I've forgiven that already. I've gotten past that. I'm at a different stage now. So yeah, I definitely could. Yeah,
Right. Because it's like, and I had to look at it as like, okay, maybe, I mean, God obviously knew that I needed this dad growing up, as opposed to, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Obviously, or
Mm-hmm.
like this is part of my story. So it's like I had to let it go, right?
Preach, preach.
Because we get the trials and tribulations that help us become who we're destined to be here.
Yeah,
So it's like, again, we can relieve them of the damn shit that they do because it's all within.
it's
It's
always
all,
goes back to our forgiveness topic though. So yeah,
yeah.
100%. It had to happen in order for us to be who we are, who we need to be. Yeah,
Yeah, like we agreed to certain lessons and tribulations when we came here, right? So Yeah. You want to do the next one? You ready?
What's the next? Yeah, yeah.
Oh, it's 1 o'clock. Oh, what time? What time you got to get up? It's you said 12 to 1, right?
Um. So yeah,
12.
I put one. I just put an hour. Just I don't. I just to set a time. I didn't know. But we good. Yeah, we can finish the questions. If
Okay.
as long as you good with that. If you good, then yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
All right, cool.
Um, is it more important to love or be loved?
I like that one too. That was a good one. I liked that question. I think it's more important to love. I think you got to embody, like you said, you got to be the change you want to see, right? So I think if we embody that, if we embody love, then love will be drawn to us. It'll be attracted to us. Um, because sometimes you can be involved or you can deal with someone or come across somebody that doesn't know how to love or doesn't know how to love properly or doesn't know what it is or hasn't experienced it, but by you being somebody that can embody it and can show that and can display love, it can teach that other person how to love or how to do it and what it's like and what it feels like, even if it is unfamiliar for them. I think that, yeah, it's going to be more important to give love rather than receive it. Not to say that it's not just as equally as important. I think because I think they're both pretty important. But I think that the focus should be more on giving love, embodying love, um, and then by doing that, it comes to you. You can attract it. You can spread it, and then you got a whole mess of love. That's just how I feel about it. What do you think?
Now, I'm going to ask you a question. So, say that you're talking about yourself. You're like, yes, it's important for me to love, right? Do you feel like you are able to love without having experienced the love, truly?
Without
So, I mean, it's like, are you able to give something that you never got?
yes and no. Yeah, yes and no. That's a good way to put it. I don't know, because I feel like I don't know. It would really vary. I think that's a good question. Because in a sense, no. I mean, how can you? Because I just said that. Like, how can some like encountering somebody who hasn't experienced love or doesn't know how to give it? How can you expect them to give it if they've never really gotten it? Um, but at the same time, I don't know. That's a very good
So,
question.
what's more important? Is it to be loved or to love?
Now I see where you're
You see
going.
what I'm saying? Yeah.
Now I see where you're going.
Um,
Huh.
so, I mean, I think that a person can love without having experienced it. And I only believe that because of what I'm hearing from some of my followers and clients.
Mm,
They'll say, I grew up in a foster home and, I never really experienced, true love from a mother or parent or anything. My foster parents were, horrible to me and all this stuff. But yet
right.
they have kids and they love their kids like, unconditionally and stuff. Now, I don't know to what extent they're able to really fully give those children, you know what I mean? What
Right.
type of nurturing and stuff are they really fully able to give them if they never received it? But
Mm,
yeah, I do feel like you. The world needs a whole lot of love.
whole lot
And I wish I could love every little baby out here. Every little baby out here that needs a hug and some love. I wish that I could be that for them. I
right.
really do.
Yeah.
Um, so I think it is very important for us to exude love, to be love,
Yeah.
for people because a lot of people don't have it.
And then I think that you can, because I think you can also give a certain type of love, even though you've
Right.
never received it from anybody or don't
A
feel like
certain type.
right
Hmm.
that it can be reciprocated or too many people can give you that same kind of love, but you still can give that off, even though you don't really get it. I think that's
Yeah. Something that I always tell my followers is that your
mm,
trials and your tribulations set you up for greatness, for discovering what your calling is, for discovering what you're here for. Because when when you like do some digging and some soul searching and some healing through
Mm-hmm.
your trials and tribulations and your trauma,
Mm-hmm.
that's when you really like discover who you are. That's when you like do the work on yourself, right?
Yeah.
So it's like through the pain of not having a mother or a father to love me and nurture me, is there something to say about that? Like is it like, through that pain, I'm still able to find a way
Mm-hmm.
to love someone the way that they need to be or whatever. You know? I
Yeah.
don't know.
I agree.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, but we both agree that it's important to love
Yeah.
either. Let me see. Read some of your comments.
Yeah. I'm gonna look at them now. Short tells us I love. Glad to see you in the live.
I'll be
Miss
right
S,
back.
let's see. Miss SC Beauty said, "Love is a universal language. It's intimate, just like animals know what to do. Know what to do when born. We know love. 100%. I get from you that you're such a loving person. So that's very interesting. But she was just saying something about that. Let's see. Right. 564 says sometimes your love will teach another love. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It'll definitely, even if you haven't, even if they've never experienced it. The love that you give, the love that you give off, the love that you show them can teach them how to give and how to, show and display it, to others or to back to you. Um, yeah, I definitely agree with that. Let's see. It's better to love and lost than to never loved at all. I love that saying. Who put that? Mystery Girl. What's that love? Um, that's what I say. It's important to love first. It starts with your parents because we didn't ask to. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. So that's what I'm saying. It's important to give love because, like you said, she wants to be able to love all of the little babies out there that need love. That's right. You gotta show them that love first in order for them to understand what it looks like, and then how to receive it and how to show it. So I definitely agree with that. That's a good one. So I'm easy now.
So I heard one of those comments you said, I'm gonna stand up a little bit just to get some air. You said, somebody said, is it better to
Somebody
love?
Yes, somebody said it's better to have loved and lost than to have never loved at all. So
How do you
that's
feel about that?
it's better to have loved and lost than to have never loved at all. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I agree with that statement. I agree. I agree with that. Um,
Yeah.
because
That boils back down to my fear. That's why I'm asking. I mean, my fear, what I used to have.
and what do you mean? How do you mean that?
Because remember, my fear was getting hurt. So it was like, do I really want to experience this and risk being hurt? Like, you know what I mean?
100%. But if you
Um,
never answered, if you never went through it, then do you think you'd be the person you are today?
exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
And with that, yes, I must say that I would absolutely love knowing that. And you got to take a risk. And I'm at the point now where, like I said, if I were to get hurt, then I just keep it moving.
yeah.
But yeah, I'm willing to take that risk now. When before I was really scared.
No, wasn't.
So I would say it's better to love. It's better to love.
100%. Sweet Teas, what's
Yeah,
up, love? This Schmidt, what's up, love? How you doing?
it's better to love. Let me see what they're saying. Love is my topic. Hey, girl. We
Mm,
need more love on these lives. Yes, we do.
I like
Um,
Kelly says, the love I didn't get is the love I love to give. It's the love I give. So the love I didn't get is the love I give.
mm, mm.
That was a
Sort of
bar.
like you with affection, right?
Yeah, exactly. The love I didn't get is the love I give. I like that.
I
I
like
definitely,
that.
yeah,
Charmaine says the key is to learn to love all of you so that you can spread that to others.
100%.
Yes. There are some who don't love themselves but are able to give a form of love to others. A form.
Yeah.
It's important to truly love yourself so that you can experience real love from others. Um, which brings me, I have another question. So, how do you feel like self love plays a part in our love in relationships.
If you don't love yourself, how can you love somebody else, or how can you expect somebody else to love you?
Right.
And it just goes back to, somebody asked me last night. I was on live last night. Somebody asked, do you think I should it would be beneficial or something like that to be with a man who's a serial cheater? And I was like, well, that's kind of self-explanatory. It's like if you allow him to be a serial cheater, that just shows how much you love yourself. If he don't love you, that just shows what you feel about yourself. It shows, what you're willing to put yourself through just to say you have somebody with you. So like I said, if he don't love you enough to be like, I'm gonna commit to you, I'm not going to cheat on you. I'm not going to do you any harm. Um, if he don't love you enough, then that just means that you don't love yourself enough to be like, I don't deserve this. I don't deserve to be, looked at like I'm just somebody you can just, dip in and dip out on. So yeah, self love plays a big part in love and relationships, because, like I said, if you don't love yourself, it's gonna be hard to love somebody else or know how to love somebody else, especially when you don't know how to love yourself.
Yes. Oh, wow. That was a deep question.
That was like that. Yeah, you really hit me.
Serial cheater. Wow. See,
Shoot,
that's amazing to me how see somebody can process someone can actually be with a serial cheater and it not affect them like that shit would have it just would have killed me. So I don't know. It's like how the hell do you even deal with that? I don't
but that
even know how you even deal with
because
that.
it goes along with how exactly how they process love, or the love they received. If they didn't feel
Yeah.
like somebody cared enough about them to not do something like that to them, then they just gonna go out into the world and allow anybody else to do the same thing. Especially if they
Mm,
like that.
yeah.
Like, it don't affect me because I'm so used to having this happen. So it just is what it is at this point.
Yes. Enigma says self-love brings the understanding required to understand others outside of yourself. Yes.
Yeah.
Self-love shows us the importance of boundaries as well.
Yes,
Yes, I like that.
it does. Yeah. Hey, they dropping some jewels in these comments
They
right
are.
now.
They really
They
are.
really, yeah, I
They
thought,
smart people. They smart.
yeah, they taking it. Um, what was I was about to say something. I forgot what I was about to say. Dang. Oh, yeah, which is why it was so funny when you were like, "Oh, I think these questions might be too deep for the live." I was like, "Shit, you
You
don't know."
know, you know
Ah,
what it I think I caught one live. I think maybe it was your first live, which is why I ended up following you. It
uh,
was y'all were having some deep conversation. But since I've been on,
it's just been, yeah.
like,
Oh
hold
yeah, and
it.
that's the thing.
Okay, what are we talking about here?
Yeah, that's the
But
thing.
I get it. You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, my lives never really have a structure. Like, I just go whatever we
Yeah,
talk. But when it gets deep, it gets deep. Like, I go there.
yeah,
I don't yeah, I go there. And when we're not talking about anything deep, it's just kind of superficial, it's just kind of surface level, and we just kind of, I guess, having fun in a way. But I knew
sure,
it made sense. I understood what you meant though.
sure. And you know, I'm new to TikTok, so I'm still learning. Everybody has their own thing, their own vibe on
Right.
the live. So I'm like just getting accustomed. I really love this question that one of my girls wrote in here, why isn't love enough? She says, I believe it is enough, but for a lot of people, but a lot of people believe it isn't. What are your thoughts? Is love enough?
Is love enough? That's a good
Ooh,
question.
that's a good one. That's a
I
good
got
one, girl. That's a good one.
I
Good
gotta
one.
think.
I like that.
Yeah, I like that too. I gotta think about that. Is love enough? In the
No,
sense
it is not enough.
enough.
That's my
Okay,
answer.
help me understand. Yeah, give me some insight on that.
I'm thinking, okay, so hold it. Let me have her clarify. So
Okay.
are you meaning in a relationship, is love enough? Um, like in a marriage, or are you, what do you mean? So if she is meaning like in a committed relationship, right? Then I would say love is not enough because I've been in a situation where the person loved me dearly, And I could see that through some of their actions, but I could also see that they were so damaged that they weren't really able to love me like I needed to be loved. Um, so therefore the respect wasn't there, the communication wasn't there. So the fact that they just loved me, that was not enough. It was not enough for me to stay in that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Especially when like you said, you made a choice to leave a female, but you still love her.
Right.
You know what I mean? So nah, I don't feel like love is enough. Um, oh, she says, why isn't love enough to come to an understanding? Right. I feel like some people are so damaged um, that they aren't able to like fully be in healthy relationships and stuff like that.
Mm.
That's my personal feelings and experience. So that's what I said. I
Okay.
think a lot of people stay in abusive relationships because they say, yo, I love this person. I love him. He did it. But yeah, he's knocking you upside your head.
Yeah.
Okay. So that ain't love. Like, I mean,
That,
that is what their love, but that's not enough. Nah.
that's not
I
enough.
need respect. I need care. I need all of these other things. So
But
that's
see,
me.
in that sense though, does that mean that that's not actually love then? Because that's not love. That's not love. If you knock you upside your head, that's not real love.
But
Because
like you said, some people have unhealthy upbringing. Some people don't know,
don't know.
so in their mind, this is their love, right? But their
Right.
actions, things that they do, we can't process it and make sense of it. But I don't
And
know.
and people say, respect, communicate. Somebody got respect, honesty, compassion, communication, all these things. But I think that these are all actions under the umbrella of love. I feel like if it's true love, if it's healthy love, then all of those things are just subcategories of love. So I feel like, yeah, in a sense, love can be enough. But because everybody doesn't necessarily know how to properly love or has experienced it properly or has experienced healthy love, then that's when it becomes okay. Why isn't love just enough? But I
Yeah,
feel if it's the right kind of love, if it's healthy love, then it would be enough.
right, right.
Let's see.
Um,
Somebody want to. Mama Bear said you want to come up to the box. So
come
we
up.
kind of the way we did it is in battle mode. So you're gonna have to go live and then send me an invite, and I can bring you up.
Hi, Miss Sheila. Mwah. I love you. How you been? Um, Someone says, I think it takes a certain level of respect from both people for it to end well.
Yeah,
Yeah. And someone said, yeah, it's their definition of love, like what we were saying.
yeah.
There's levels to it,
It's
definitely.
definitely 100%. Yeah, I agree with that.
Mhm. They said, I wish people would always respond from a place of love rather than a place of pain. I wish, but that is not the reality,
That's not the world we live in, man.
right? A lot of people take past mistakes of others and place it onto those who are trying to love them. Yes, that is very true. That's
Yeah,
very true.
but that
You got
just
somebody joining?
I don't know if somebody is.
I love you too. Hope you're great. I am doing very well. I'm doing
It's
very well.
to join, but they're gonna have to go live on their own and then send an invite in order for me to invite them up. But
Okay.
if not, then
So the next question is, what stands between you and happiness? I'm happy now.
I was I'm happy now. I am fucking happy now.
I
Like,
am happy, yo. I
but
wake up. I wake up. It was like 98% of the time. I wake up like really genuinely happy,
but just
grateful for my life. Like really.
Angel, and you're right. So to ask somebody in my life, because I was just about to say this, but one of Angel in my comments, to answer that question from a general standpoint, yourself, you are what stands in the way of your happiness. So yeah, that was a good answer. It's yourself. You
Why?
have to
Why do you say that?
because you have to choose that. You have to make the decision to choose happiness.
Choose.
Um,
We
it's
choose
not
happiness. We don't choose love.
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. You choose love, right? Okay,
We
Tuesday.
choose
All
happiness.
right,
We
well,
don't choose love.
okay. But that's what I said. But we came to that conclusion though. It's both. You
I'm
can,
messing with you.
but yeah, I think you can choose happiness. it's like you choose to forgive somebody. You choose that. And once you've calibrated your mind to that, then yeah, you can have that. But it has to be something, because it has to be something you choose to do. And that's why she said, yeah, it's yourself. You stand in between your happiness. Um,
Yeah,
I think that the reason why most people are maybe unhappy, or feel like they're not happy, we dwell on the past, or we dwell on the future, and we forget about being in just this present moment. We forget about the thing that actually matters. The only thing that actually exists is this moment right here. It's the only thing that actually exists. Everything else is an illusion. But I think that we focus so much on, what I did in the past, or damn, and we harbor those feelings, or we think about the future. Oh, what's to come next? What's to come next? And it knocks us out of our present moment, um, which causes us to be unconscious. And that's where all those feelings of unhappiness and all those anxiety and fear and all this other stuff flush in. Um,
yeah,
I think you stand in the way of your happiness.
yes. I absolutely agree. And to touch a really quick trick for people to understand about their mind with that. So, okay, we're standing right here in the middle. This is present day right here, right? So, anybody who is experiencing depression, that means that you are thinking too much about the past. That means you're thinking about what you could have, should have, would have done. You're dwelling on the things and decisions that you did make or didn't make. You wish you could change things. We cannot control that. So if you are feeling depression, it's because you're focused too much on your past.
Yeah.
Here we are again. If you are focused too much on the future, if you are if you're focused too much on the future, if you thinking about all of these different scenarios that could happen next week, and what you're going to do, if you're anxious, then you are thinking too much about the future, and that is called anxiety. So
Yep.
we absolutely have to stay present in the moment, because this is where the magic happens, baby.
It's
This
what
is
happens.
where the magic happens.
It's what happens.
This is all we can control right here, right now.
Even if something were to happen in the future, it's always going to happen in the present moment. It's always
Exactly.
present moment. So yeah. Kelly,
Mm-hmm.
Let people. I know, Kelly. That's so saying.
And I was diagnosed with kidney disease. I mean,
Hey, what's up?
so someone says, when I was diagnosed with kidney disease, I made a choice. Happy from the moment I opened my eyes. Wow.
Mhm.
See, that's empowering,
Yeah,
because someone else could wake up and be like devastated and choosing to just like, not enjoy life. Exactly. I like that so much. Thank you so much.
yeah. I like that. Yeah,
Thank you. Nothing that can break. Yes. Did we answer that? We both answered that. That was a quick one.
yeah, that was a good one.
Okay. What gives your life meaning?
Take it away for us, Nikki.
I already went first twice. It's your turn.
What gives my life meaning?
Yeah. What gives your life meaning?
See, when it comes to that question, which is why I asked you to answer first, because I'm trying to figure out, like under what circumstance, like what do you mean? What gives my life meaning? Like, I think
Well,
that
name some things that give your life meaning. Maybe I don't know.
I mean, of course, everybody that's a parent will say, "My child,"
Of course, right?
but I don't want to be too cliche. What gives my life meaning? I think just I think the fact that I understand that I'm on this journey, and in pursuit of my purpose, or in pursuit of my reasoning for being here, or my reasoning for doing the things that I do, or my reasoning for wanting to help, and my love for helping people. I think that these things play a role in giving my life meaning. Um,
Yeah.
Especially being that I've been on this journey, and it's been very interesting. And I think that the important part of the journey is not the destination, but it's the journey itself. Um,
Mhm.
everything,
Yes, yes.
yeah, everything that you do, to get to where you're trying to go, even though it's the journey never really like there's no stopping point. You're always going to be on a journey. Um, and I think that the important part of it is just everything, every obstacle, every person, every interaction, every experience, all of that is very essential and very important to just overall, growing and healing and being a better version of yourself than you were when you initially started the journey.
Okay, so I just thought of this question to piggyback off of that. So after saying that,
Hmm.
would you be okay if you passed away today?
Yes, I
Would
would.
you feel like, okay,
And I think that that goes along with like, are you afraid of death? I think that that's kind of like the similar question. Like, are you scared? Like,
yeah, but
because
not if you're afraid of death. Me, I'm
scared
asking, do
to die.
you feel like you have fulfilled your purpose and what your meaning of life,
I
and would you be happy to go to death?
I feel like if I were to go today, then that means that was what was supposed to happen. I feel like
Right,
if I
right,
got it, that was supposed to happen. That's out of my control. I've done a lot of work. I've done so much up until this point that, yeah, if I were to go, then I would accept that. That's just what it is. It was meant to happen at that point. But the thing is that we don't actually die. I know that these are just avatars. These are just bodies. We just
yeah,
utilize this for this physical plane, but it's much beyond that, and I understand that. And I think
yeah.
understanding spirituality and understanding that I'm more than just a physical being gave my
Mhm.
life a lot more purpose and meaning. So it's not that you necessarily die. You never die. Energy cannot be created or destroyed, and we're all just energy.
Yeah, we shouldn't even be using that word, right?
Right. Right.
They did that for a reason. They did that for a reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, we shouldn't be even using that. Um, yeah, I like that. I like that a lot.
So how about you? Both of those questions actually. Um, what brings your life meaning? And if you were to die today, would you, or pass on today, would you be happy, or would you?
Yeah. What gives my life meaning? Um, I would say, yeah, being able to love on people.
Mm,
Um, and I don't mean just touch, but being able to extend my love energetically to others, I know helps expand the universe. And I'm grateful for that awareness. I'm
right.
grateful for that understanding.
Yeah.
Um, and I feel like that sort of reaches every corner. Girl, get off my computer. That reaches every aspect of my life, whether it's my children,
Mm,
family, whether it's, outside in the world when I'm working or online when I'm able to extend my love energy to people. So, because it is the most powerful energy that there is,
mhm.
I'm grateful of that ability. You know what I mean? If I were to pass today, I wouldn't want.
You want?
But
Yeah,
if
understand.
I were to pass today, I think like you, I mean, I'd have to be accepting, of it because it's written, right?
Yeah, it's written. It's
It's written, and I would feel like, even though I feel like mentally I have a whole lot more to do,
right.
obviously my job here would be done,
It would be done.
you know? Yeah.
Yeah,
So I guess I would feel a little, you should feel fulfilled, really,
yeah,
because if you came here and your purpose was done, then it's time to move on to bigger and greater things, right?
yeah, 100%. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Someone said, I would be 100% okay with my impact in this world. If it's my time, it's my time. I hear you.
I
We are
feel.
souls having a human experience. Learning and evolving is rewarding. The experience of being human is what gives it meaning to me. Being able to experience life is a gift. Someone said inspiring others. That definitely gives my life meaning. So,
Yeah,
yeah, I love that. I love all of that. It seems like we're all sort of on the same
on this
page.
track. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um, so have you ever seen any ghosts?
Have I ever seen any ghosts?
Yeah.
Um, maybe I
Yeah.
haven't. Didn't realize it. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe.
I was just asking. If
Maybe.
it's yeah. Let's answer one. What gives your life meaning? We did that. Okay. Can there be happiness without sadness?
like this question. I like this question. Now,
Yeah.
yeah, finish it up. Finish it off. Finish like the whole, all of.
Okay. Can there be happiness without sadness, pleasure without pain, and peace without war?
Nope, 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 and nope. Reason why is because it's like saying, can there be up without down? Can bad exist without good? Can light exist without dark? No, the other one, the opposing one, defines the other one. So, in order to understand what one is, we have to have the opposite to understand what it is not. So yeah, that's why I don't feel like because if we didn't have pleasure, then how would we know what pain is? Or if we didn't have pain, how would we know what pleasure is? If we didn't have
Mhm.
happiness, how would we understand what sadness is, or vice versa? So I kind of correlated that question to with if there was up, there was down. Like I liked that question a lot, but that's my take on it. What do you feel?
Yeah. So it's kind of tricky for me because, right, I feel like, okay, a baby, take your son, right?
Right.
All he knows is love and nurturing. That's all he knows, right? And it doesn't take away from him that he knows this and he experiences this, even though he has not ever had to feel the opposite end of the spectrum, you know?
Okay.
So I don't know. I understand it on both ends. I understand everything you're saying. Everything you says makes sense, right? I remember once my parents, like, okay, they were very like straight and narrow people, like
Mm.
never did anything bad, right? So when I went away to college, I was like, it was a reality check for me. I was like, what the hell is I was living in La La Land, sort of for real.
Yeah.
Living in La La Land.
Yeah.
Now it was that I didn't know I was living in La La Land until I went outside of La La Land, right? So then I was able to compare and contrast. But like I don't feel like my 3 year old, he has not experienced evil, true evil. All he's experienced is love. And unfortunately, this is why we want to keep our kids so close. The real world way may absolutely um, teach him what evilness is and stuff like that.
And that's the thing too. That's what I'm feeling like. It's like because I know love is instilled in all of us. That's already within us when we come in here. Like that's and I think that once we get into this world and we learn how to not love and learn evil,
Yeah. Yes.
I don't.
Yeah,
I,
exactly.
but I don't think that because he's never experienced evil that doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. Because it
Right.
definitely does. He just hasn't experienced it yet, but it definitely does exist. Um,
But
so
doesn't have to experience it.
hmm?
But does he have to experience it?
Does he
Oh,
have to?
you're saying he doesn't have to experience it for it to exist. Right.
Right,
Yes.
exactly,
Yes,
exactly.
yes, yes.
So yeah,
Yeah.
they still exist, even though he may not know what evil is or has experienced it. Yeah, it still exists. Um, yeah. Now I can't say that he'll be able to clearly define either one. But maybe he will. But my thing is, like I said, yeah, it's still going to exist whether he's able to define it or not.
Yeah. So then if it's so clear cut, okay, yes, we know that hot and cold exists. We know that up and down exists. It's like, okay, but we're talking about
Yeah,
each person's reality, right? Because your reality is way different from mine. Your
right.
perspectives and your experiences are way different from mine, right? So in his reality, because that's all that matters,
Hmm.
will he really know evil if he only experiences love? I mean, does evil exist right now for him, for your child, for my baby, if they're not experiencing it
So you're does it exist for him?
for
Like
their reality, their
area.
world?
Okay.
Yeah,
So
because we
this,
know there is the contrast,
this
huh?
changes the question though. This changes it though, because from a
But
general
hold
standpoint,
it. The question is, can there be happiness without sadness? So we're talking about our kids. We know they happy.
right? But
Okay.
that does not mean that sadness does not exist and that they
Well,
cannot
we know that.
experience. You feel me? He can still experience it even though he hasn't yet. So it does exist. Yes, it still can be that.
But we know that everything exists. We know this. I think we think about two different ways. Yeah, we know that this stuff exists, right?
Yeah.
But there's okay, I think what it's saying is, can our babies truly experience happiness if they've never experienced pain? You get what I'm saying? Like, and I feel, yes, they're experiencing happiness, right? Even though they haven't felt pain.
But because so like but you because you're basing it off of because like you said your idea you're in your reality, yeah, you can say that, but in their reality they don't even they can't necessarily say that they know what happiness is. They can't necessarily say it because they never experienced pain. Yes, they may be happy. To us they appear happy, but can we honestly say, because it's their reality, so can we honestly say that they're happy? they're just not they're just not in pain. That's that's I feel like that's basically it. We know.
So then it's the definition. So it's more so, okay, yeah. I mean, I get what you're saying, but I mean, I guess happiness is a feeling, it's a sensation, right? Smile. And if they're smiling, they're happy, right?
That's
Pleasure, we know pleasure.
right, right.
Okay. And peace without war.
Mm-hmm.
So I've never experienced a war. I mean, like a
A
World War II.
a literal war, maybe like guns and two different sides. Yeah, but that doesn't mean that you haven't experienced a variation of war. It isn't always going to be a physical thing or a thing that's tangible that you can see, that you can touch. You may not have experienced it in that form, but you may have experienced war in a different form.
Right. Okay, so let's use the physical one, for example.
Right. Okay. Let's go.
Okay. The physical war, right? We have grandparents and stuff or whoever who has lived through that and can say, oh my gosh, y'all don't know nothing. Y'all ain't da 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 da, right? Because y'all ain't have to live through this or that. Sorry. Y'all don't never had to live through this or that. But does that mean we ain't experiencing peace? Or are we just, could you hear me? Because I had a phone call come through.
Yeah, when you it went out and you fixed it, so it's good.
Um, I lost my train of thought.
I'm sorry.
No, it's not you. Uh, okay, so yes, I've never been through a physical war, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we know that this world right now is far from peaceful. We know, right?
Right.
But in just these terms with the war. So, because I've never experienced war, does that mean that I'm not living in a peaceful time?
Um. So you said just because you haven't experienced a physical war, does that mean that you're not living in a peaceful time? Because
Yeah,
I think that that changes the dynamic of the question when we categorize it with physical and not physical, versus just war in general.
I
Because
don't.
I do, because
Okay,
your fear was being cheated on, right? So
right.
you were at war with yourself because of that. You were at war with that fear. Yeah,
Hmm.
physical war, but it was an internal war. You were at war with that. You did not want that to happen. You did not want to experience that, and then it did. But you were at war with your mind and trying not to think of it, but you were thinking about it, and then you thought about it so much that it manifested. You were at war with your mind. So yeah, I think that, and now after you've had that war, you now know what it feels like to be at peace with it. So now that you're at peace with it, okay, I've been through that. I know what that feels like, but now I'm at peace with it. So I feel differently now. I can move on now. I'm at peace because I've experienced that war. Now I know what peace really feels like now. And peace wasn't trying to avoid it and run away from it. That wasn't peace. Peace was experiencing it and then getting to a point where you're like, okay, I know what that feels like now. And now if it happens or if I face it again, I'm at peace. I can just move on now and choose to be at peace with it. Does that make sense?
It does. I just don't agree, but that's okay.
I love how you did that. It does. I just don't agree with you.
That's all. Yeah. Let's see what the people are saying.
Because what because we're I'm saying war in general. It doesn't always have to be physical. I'm just saying war,
Yeah.
period. It doesn't always have to
So I think
literally mean.
manifesting, when
Mhm.
you're talking about manifesting something that you're, at war with in your head, that's different, right? Because you actually created it. But I'm talking about actually experiencing something without having experienced the opposite end of that spectrum. Does that mean that you did not really feel what you felt just because you've never felt the opposite of it?
Run, run that back by me one more time. Run that back by me.
So, okay, for instance,
Yeah.
there's been some people, right? I got an aunt and uncle. They met in high school. They've been together ever since. So they've got to have been married for like 40 something years, right?
Mm.
Peachy keen relationship, right? So they have a healthy, loving relationship. She's never experienced heartbreak from any other guy because he's the only one she's been with. Does that mean that she's not experiencing a healthy, loving relationship?
But that doesn't, just because she's never experienced heartbreak from him does not mean she's never experienced heartbreak. Period. That's what I'm saying.
It
Because
doesn't mean she hasn't.
you're categorizing it. It's okay from him. Yes, from him, she's never experienced heartbreak,
Mhm.
but that doesn't mean that anything else in her life, period, her whole life, didn't give her heartbreak in some form. It isn't always the expected form or the defined form or the physical form. Maybe with that relationship, she's
So
never.
yeah, I'm trying to compare apples and apples.
Yeah.
If you want to compare apples with peaches and pears and oranges, which is cool, because it just
Well,
makes
I'm
sense
saying,
of how we're like
are they
coming
really?
up with this. What did you say?
I see what you're
What did
saying.
you say?
Yeah, like you
No,
said.
but it makes sense as to why we're both explaining it differently. That's all. I'm just trying to
No,
like process it. Yeah, because I mean, of course you can say that. Of course, you can say, oh, okay, she hasn't experienced heartbreak here, but maybe she lost a child and she experiences what that heartbreak is. But is that really, well, yeah, I feel like that could fall into that. Yeah, I feel like that could, you got it.
do I really?
You got it.
I mean, you could. You know what I mean? I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all
I
good.
love
I love it all.
this has been amazing. I love this.
I love it too. I love it too. See, tell me what some of your people said. Somebody in my comments said, I agree with him. So, okay. I'm sending you love, Amber. Mwah.
Yeah, they like, yeah, he got that one. They was on my side.
Yeah. They know they're experiencing it. They don't know the name until taught.
Until taught, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I agree with that too. Okay, I like that. I like
Yeah. I believe because of that they're innately know the meaning of love until they forget. Oh, okay.
that.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Kids don't know the definition of love. They go through the emotion and are taught the name. So see, and we're going back to the emotions, what I was talking about, but
Mm.
I love all of this.
Yeah.
Okay. We ready for the next one?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do
Mental
it.
emotion stuff. This is the last one, y'all.
All right.
So,
Uh,
to what degree have you actually controlled the course of your life? Hold on. To what degree have you actually controlled the course your life has taken?
once I got to a point of stop thinking about life as life is happening to me, and then move to life is happening for me. And now I'm thinking I'm in a position or a point where I'm transitioning into life is not happening for me, but it is happening because of me. Those are
Yes, sir.
and that's why I'm understanding now that okay, I have to see this shit a different way. Like I gotta okay, like it's me. It's been me the whole time. So I think that's and especially I think that's the degree of that because that it's hard to get to that point to be like okay, life is not happening to me, it's happening for me, but it's not happening for me, it's happening because of me, and it's hard to get to that point, especially mentally. And I think that it takes a lot. It's not impossible, but it takes a lot to get to that point and then actually implement that idea of life. And which is why I understand why some people are like well, I can't get it, how do I get it, because it takes a lot of work, like you said, it takes a lot of deep soul work, and it take a lot of
Mm,
internal look, like it take a lot. But we all have the capability of doing it, so I think that's the degree at which I have begun to control my life. I think
yeah.
that in a way I feel like I've manifested you here to where we had this conversation, or each other. We manifested each other.
Yeah, absolutely.
Feel me? So yeah,
Absolutely.
that's my take on that.
Um, yeah, it's crazy because before I got on TikTok, I was like, I need to find my tribe. Like, I need to find the people I can talk
Right.
to. You know what I mean? Because it's so hard out here in the real world. You can only speak to the people who are ready for this information, and not everybody is ready for it. And to be honest, this is all the type of shit I like to talk about.
Yeah.
Period.
Me too, though.
And I know that some people just ain't, they're not interested. So I get it. But yeah, I would agree. So about like 13 years ago, 14 years ago, I went to go see this guy. We didn't click because he was young and I had a kid and it was just off, right?
Hmm.
Um, but I went on this trip for a reason. We still had a great time and we clicked and everything, still friends to this day.
Right.
But when I was leaving, and I was like, okay, universe, you really playing with me because you know at that time I was boy crazy and whatever. It took me going to see a boy all the way in Tennessee. I was living in Virginia all the way to Tennessee to get this book, and that was The Secret.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, once I got that, it was like so life changing for me. So life changing for me. It was like all okay. When I turned 19, I was going to Virginia Tech, right? And I told that I went to go and see the psychologist there. I'm like, listen, girl, like my thoughts, I can't control these things. They going over here, 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 A to Z in 2 seconds, and I'm back over here at this. I'm creating scenarios. Like, what's
Yeah.
happening here? I was looking for her to
Right.
help me, like, understand what was going on. Instead, she wanted to put me on medication. I
Mm.
was like, nah, this is not going to be my story type of thing, right? But when I turned, like, as I was 19, I was like, I got to figure out how to control my thoughts. I didn't know shit about manifesting, no nothing, but
Right.
I knew that I had to master this. This is that I became intrigued with it.
Yeah.
So, of course, on my journey, as I'm learning how to control my thoughts,
Hmm.
around 25, I went to go see this guy, 26, something like that. I went to go see that guy, and then he gave me this book. So on the plane, I read the whole book. I'm like, damn, like this is crazy. And it just transformed my life from there. And when I tell you, that's why I wake up in such a good damn mood every single day because I created.
Yeah.
I'm creating my life. What is there to be sad about? Like I'm in control.
Yeah.
Like what is there to be sad about? You know what I mean? So that was just it's amazing how the world, it is always working in our favor. Of course.
Always.
Of course,
And
right? We may not think or know that, but it always is, right?
it is. Yeah. It always
Yeah.
is. And
And and with us like, coming into ourselves, of course, somewhere down the line, this was written already, right? It was manifested. We manifested this to connect with like-minded individuals, to be able to spread knowledge and share with the world. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
it is amazing. I'm so grateful. I'm so, so grateful that platforms like TikTok even exist to
Yeah.
allow us to be able to reach like people all over the world.
Yeah. And man, you don't understand like how appreciative I am that I met you, and I'm grateful to have met you. Um, because it's
Me
like
too.
when you recommended that book to me, it was like I already understood manifest, understood the information, but it
Yeah.
put so much more perspective on it for me. That's really what I needed. I needed that. I just needed that little real quick. And I was like,
Yeah.
damn. I was like, okay, I got
Yeah.
to see clearly now. The rain is
Have
gone.
you watched the movie? Have
No,
you watched the movie?
yeah, but I'm watching
Oh
the movie.
wow.
I am gonna watch the movie. But I was like, wow, I gotta, because as soon as I finished reading it, it probably took me, it probably with everything I was doing that week, it probably took me like 2 days to read it.
Yeah, it's a quick read, right?
Yeah, it was a quick read. I read the first 100 pages one day and then took a day off.
Yeah.
But I was like, after I finished it, I was like, I got to let her know, like, I gotta say thank you for that because I really
Oh,
so
I'm so grateful. I got to read that one that you recommended.
yeah. This is
Let me see it.
it's gonna be backwards, but this one is this one right here. The power.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. The power of now, y'all. Y'all see this?
I love this book.
It's
Yeah,
in the book. Yes.
I
Um,
got some other ones, but yeah, that one right there for sure.
I'm gonna have to check it out for sure, for sure. What's the name of the book? The book is The Secret, and the book that he just showed is The Power of Now. Um, Enigma says, I lean towards it's already written, and we all have the freedom to choose, but it all leads to the same place. Amber says she is reading The Power of Now. Amber, you got to follow Izzy.
I'm trying to tell you, I'm reading
Um,
right now too. I love this
he
book.
might be talking about it on his lives sometimes.
I
Um,
I made a video recommending it too. I had showed it in one of my videos as well. So yeah, I mean, just tell Amber to tap in. What's the word?
yeah. Enigma says, sometimes I wonder if we caused it to happen or if it's already written. What do you feel like?
I think that because I think that's the idea behind like free will, right? I feel like our decisions shape what's going to happen next or shape our future, and I think you can change the direction that you go in by making a certain decision or not making a certain decision. So I think that everything is already written. Everything is possible. Everything is already happened. Everything is everything. Everything is everything, right? So it's
Yeah.
like once you make a certain decision or you change something, you can change the direction. You can shift to a different outcome. Even though you were headed down this road, you made a change or you decided to do something different, and now you're heading down this road. Now you're going in a different direction. So yeah, I think everything is everything.
Yeah, yeah. I do. I feel like um, all realities already exist, and you can choose to hop into whichever dimension that you
Right.
desire. I wholeheartedly believe in quantum jumping. I
Yep.
know it's possible.
Yep.
Sometimes I've woken up and been like, I literally pinch myself because I'm like, okay, I have a baby, hold it,
Me
hold
too.
it. I have
I'm like, wait, I got a fucking son.
like, hold it. I live in New Jersey. Like, seriously, you probably jumped and you didn't even realize it.
Didn't even
But for real, this should be happening because when we devote so much energy into our manifestations,
yeah.
the only way our manifestations can happen is if we jump into other dimensions.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's going to happen gradually, and sometimes they just going to happen.
It just happened.
Yes. So I love having those little reality checks. I'll be like, damn, whose life is this? Like, this
Like,
is my
what the fuck is yeah, crazy. It's very,
yes,
very crazy.
yes, that's so funny. Like that movie Interstellar. I've never heard of that.
I've heard of it, but I've never seen it.
Amber, what part of Jersey you in, girl? Yeah.
Yeah,
So what
I never,
part of huh? You never thought of
I never thought I would have left my hometown, and then before I know it, I'm 5, 6 hours away. Like, what the
oh
fuck?
my
I've been there my
goodness.
whole life, but then I changed directions. I don't know. It just shift, like you said.
Oh, isn't that fun though? I mean, goodness, I used to be a little nomad and I used to love it. I loved it. Like just not being tied down, being able to just go, pick up and go if I want to. My stuff is still in storage in Florida now. I've been paying on it for 4 years. I need to get that shit out. God dang, 4 years. I
Yeah,
thought I was gonna come back and I never did.
never did.
Never did. Um, but yeah, so you're 5 hours away. So is all of your family in Florida?
Um, Not all of my family, but majority of my family is in Florida. They kind of spread out all over the South, but
Oh, okay.
family is in Florida. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. So that's super cool. You got a little baby. Gosh,
What
that's
is that? Is
awesome.
that a crystal that you're rubbing on?
This one's peridot. This one, of course,
Mhm.
is selenite. And this
Yeah.
one is amethyst. I broke my amethyst crystal.
You broke your amethyst.
So you know what they say when it falls off you that you not really it's not for you anymore. It's supposed to go and help somebody else. Like
What?
if
Real?
time is done with you. Yeah. But my brother gave me that amethyst. It's in all my videos, and it just broke last week. So I'm like, what you trying to tell me? Like,
I didn't know that. Yo, I was wearing my amethyst necklace and like the crystal fell off of the necklace. Like one day I was in the back, it just fell off. I was like, what?
Yes, mine too.
And I'm trying to force it and put it back on. I was like,
Yeah,
damn, I didn't
of
know it.
course. But I always keep crystals on me. I got, of course, Black Tiger. I love me some jade because I love that shmoney. You
Yeah,
heard.
yeah,
Love me some shmoney, okay?
yeah,
Um, yeah, I always keep crystals on me for
yeah.
sure.
I
And
stay
what about you?
with two of these necklaces on me. Because my
What are
favorite
those?
is amethyst, and
Oh, really?
I was like hurt that it fell. I was like, that it broke off the necklace. I was like,
Exactly.
I got some apatite, some blue apatite on right now, some acroyd, um, just for confidence, communication, and then mental clarity. Of
Yeah.
course, I have some adventurine, some green adventurine I just got for luck and prosperity. Um,
Yes.
I got some black tourmaline. I got some smoky quartz, and the
Yeah.
chakra one where I got like all of the chakras. Yeah, I got some.
You got some stiff too.
Oh yeah, I do. I got some stuff. I got some rose quartz. I got
Oh,
a little
yeah.
collection over here. So yeah.
Yes. Hey, Avon. How you doing? I love all you guys. Mm. Oh, you in Clifton. You up north, Amber. Okay. I'm down south. But yeah, that's dope. So you like your crystals too.
Crystals,
That's
yeah.
dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much don't leave the house without having something on.
Yeah. For sure. For sure. For sure. For sure. So I think we finished our question.
We have it's what 2 hours. Yeah, it's been a 2 hour.
Yeah. That
Very
was fun though. I really liked the randomness. I didn't want to think about any of the questions because I was like, I just want to answer them sporadically, and
it went,
whatever I was feeling at the time. So
yeah, it went perfect. Yeah. I wasn't worried at all. I wasn't worried at all. I was like, yeah, this is gonna go perfect. And it
yeah,
did.
sometimes I got to get out of my planning energy. Like I'm
Yeah.
such a planner. Like I'm like, okay, I got to be organized. When I go on my
When
lives, we're talking about this, guys. Okay, but no, yeah,
Yo, I think when you had hit me back with the questions, I was like, whoa, I was like, okay, like this is done. It's done. This is yeah, go perfect. Yeah.
that's funny.
Yeah, because I
So
love
before you get off, before you leave me,
yeah.
so how long you been doing music?
I have been doing music. So I think my music journey started at 11. That's really when I was like, huh, I can, because I used to write out the lyrics to my favorite songs like a notepad. I was like, huh, what if I try to write music myself? And that was when I kind of started writing music myself. And then, I had a brother, we would freestyle together. And then that kind of just built up the journey. And I want to say I didn't really take it serious until after I hit my first actual studio session in maybe my senior year in high school. And then
Really?
fell in love with it. I was like, oh yeah, I can do this shit. And
Yeah,
ever since then, it's been history with me. So yeah, um, my journey
that's
is
really good.
places different. It's shifted a lot, but yeah, that's something I'll never give up on. Music was my first love. So
Oh, that's nice. That's really dope. I heard you playing one of your songs when you were live. I think it
oh
was
yeah,
last
that
week
was
or something.
good.
Yeah, so that's dope. I'm super proud of you. Keep pushing.
Thank you.
Keep pushing with that. Yeah. So
Yeah.
any advice you want to give my followers, any manifestation advice you want to give my followers?
I don't know, Nikki. You the manifestation queen. I don't what
Whatever.
that you haven't already. you know, I don't,
No.
I don't know. I
You
just
taught me a lot during this energy exchange. It
like
was very enlightening for sure.
was
You know?
I agree with that. I don't know. I just as far as manifestation advice, I feel like I can't say anything that you probably haven't already told them, or I don't know, Nikki. I don't know.
It's okay. I said, what's your best
Oh, what's
manifestation?
my best?
Any
Get
tips, any life
get
tips, anything,
get out of
anything you
your
want to give them.
yeah, get out of your way. Yeah.
Okay,
Nobody can
I like
stop.
that.
Yeah, get out of your way. That's really what. Yeah. The only thing that's really stopping you is you. You are your biggest. You can be your own enemy, or you can be your biggest ally. It really is. It's really up to you. Um, Another thing would be to, as far as manifestations go, staying in the energy of gratitude, being grateful and thankful for the things that you have now will only bring more things that you can be grateful for. if you look at it like I don't have this, I need that, then you are operating out of a system of lack, and
Mm-hmm.
you'll begin to bring on more situations where you lack, where you need. So if you stop that, change it into, I'm grateful for everything I have now. I have so much. The universe conspires, with me and not against me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm moving in harmony with the universe, or whatever however you want to word it or believe it is fine. Um,
Yeah.
but once you change it to that, then you will attract more situations that you're grateful for, that you can be grateful for, or etc. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's I can give you right now.
I like that. I like that. I like to like give people like hints and tips of about things and situations that I've been through myself to help them relate. So for instance, I want to give you guys a super tip. If you are, for my example is going to be like an orphanage. Say I wanted to create a orphanage, right?
Right,
For kids. See, sometimes we will let our goals hinder us when we feel too overwhelmed thinking we need money for everything, right? But the reality is, so instead of letting that orphanage goal overwhelm me because I'm thinking, okay, I don't have $100,000 to build this orphanage. What am I going to do?
yeah,
I'd rather not do it or never do it, right?
right,
Instead of that, instead of us always being focused on the money, what does it take to build an orphanage? So I need a building. I should be focused on getting a building. Okay, I need to find a building. Okay, I need somebody with a building. I need somebody with land, something. Okay, what else do you need for an orphanage? Okay, I need food. I'm gonna need somebody that's gonna help me get some food for these kids. Okay, what else do I need for this orphanage? I need some teachers. Do I know some teachers? So it's not always about the money, everybody. Sometimes we get so overwhelmed and we'll be like, damn, I don't have the money. If I got to go to the studio, right? Okay, I need to pay that producer. I need to pay for that time in the studio. Then I need to pay for him to
yep. That's you was right. You
to
was,
yeah, master it and do all of that, right?
mm-hmm.
Okay, and then I'm gonna need prints for the CDs if I'm giving CDs. Now you don't do CDs. See, that shows how old I am. Okay.
Don't do that. Don't do that. What are you,
But
28?
instead of me being focused on the money that I need and not doing this not doing it at all, I just need to be focused on manifesting the things that I need to accomplish what it is I'm trying to accomplish. And sometimes that can help us get our dreams done quicker and easier because we're not so focused. We don't have, like me, I had a money blockage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I grew up with a money blockage because my dad was so frugal. So
Right,
if I have a money blockage and I'm so concerned with money, 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 and I'm
mm-hmm.
trying to manifest certain things that I feel like I just need money to accomplish, it's going
Right,
to take me a hell of a long time to get to that, right? Because I got a money blockage and I'm focused on money. So it's just a little hack, because a lot of times we're money, driven people,
yeah,
So to do that, focus on what you need for the task at hand. And then also, I think I talked about this one last time. Well, this is another manifestation hack, right? Okay, say I wanted to do that orphanage. And then I have someone saying to me, okay, because as within, so without. Okay. I
right,
have someone approaching me and being like, you gonna do an orphanage? You have no experience. How are you gonna do this? Right? I don't think you should do this. This is a bad move for you.
mm-hmm.
What that is an internal gauge as to how I feel about the orphanage at that time,
Yeah,
right? So if we reverse our manifestation, how the mind works and all of that, all we have to do is go within and tweak that particular um we have to tweak really how we feel about what it is we're trying to manifest. So if I'm trying to manifest an orphanage and someone calls and says that's going to be crazy, you're never going to be able to do that, then I, instead of giving power to what that person said,
mm-hmm.
instead of letting that person stop me or hinder me from doing what I got to do, what do
Yep,
I do? I go within and I tell myself, I feed myself affirmations. I tell myself, I can do anything that I motherfucking want. I'm going to do this orphanage. It's going to be the bomb. I'm going to change
yeah,
lives. You know what I'm saying? Then the next day, I may come across someone who's like, yo, that's a dope idea. Keep doing that. Keep pushing. You know, you're on the right route, right? So
yeah,
that's all you do with these people that come at you. everybody is a reflection of what we're exuding.
Yeah.
So if we not take it personal, don't take shit personal that people do. Don't, period. Just tweak your internal being and keep it moving. Those are my little hints, little hacks.
Love that. I love that. That was perfect.
Period.
Thank you for
Hi,
that.
Jericho.
I love the
Hey,
orphanage
man.
too.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
they going facts, facts, facts. Yeah.
Well, thank you
So make
guys so
sure y'all
much for the
follow.
likes. Thank you,
Make sure
guys.
y'all follow Nikki, man. Make sure y'all tap in and follow Nikki.
Love
Um,
y'all. I love you guys every morning.
Nikki, I don't know. I don't think it could have gone any better, to be honest with you.
Yeah, Charmaine says, when you open your eyes every morning, be grateful. The day can only get better from there.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely. Thank you guys so much for the gifts. My fingers are hurting. I'm tapping so long. It's big. Thank you so much, dude. I can't read your name. Is it Axum? But yes. Okay, so I'm gonna let you go,
All right.
and I hope we get to do this again.
Yeah, we should definitely do this again. So yeah, we will.
We'll
This
figure it out.
I appreciate this.
Absolutely. And I hope that you have an amazing week. What's today? Third Wednesday, Tuesday?
I
Hope
don't
you
know.
have an amazing week.
I think it's
That's what us grinders do. You know, we hustlers, so we ain't
that's
got no regular job.
I really don't even be paying attention sometimes. It is what it is. Like
I was on your live the other day and someone said, I think it was yesterday, where you was talking about this girl with the serial cheating, because I heard that. But you
yeah.
said, someone asked you, what do you do? And you like, what did you say? You said something.
What? So
What did you say?
somebody said yeah, what do you
What do
do?
you do for a living? And you said,
I put in that work. What you say?
exactly. And I was like, yes, that's me. I put in that damn work. I do everything and nothing, okay? At the
What?
same damn time.
Tell
For
yeah,
real.
look,
Okay.
asking me
Don't worry about what I'm doing.
I'll put in that work. That's what I do, damn it.
And it's crazy because people like us that don't have I mean regular 9 to 5s or whatever, I
Yeah,
don't know. But I don't have no regular 9 to 5. I've been working
yeah.
for myself for the past 4 years.
So
But we probably work harder than these people that go to these jobs
yeah,
every day. Because
I
every damn day is a grind.
I used to do that shit. Show up for another job who didn't give a fuck about me. So I was like, well,
Right.
I may as well just show up for myself and just work and do the same
Right.
damn thing.
Like, what is this? Oh no.
So yeah,
I put in that work for real every day.
I'm on every
For
day, man.
real, for real. Mm-hmm.
I definitely
Okay,
agree.
my dear. It's been a pleasure.
It has me. I appreciate you, Queen.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for this.
Yes, absolutely. And when you get off, check your DM because I asked you a question in there.
Okay.
All right, y'all. Mwah.
All
Happy
right.
Tuesday.
Have a beautiful day. All right.
Bye. You too.
All right.